Now we are going to discuss from the question 11 until the question 20, right? So starting with the question 11, I'm sure those of you who are watching this through YouTube, you have watched the part 1 already, and if you have watched it, you can watch this now, right? So all you got to do is have a pen and paper just to write down the notes and the methods. If you want to try the questions before I do, right, you can pause the video and do the questions by yourself. So in this question 11 of the 2020 GCE OL paper, 3x over y, right? 3x, and then in the bottom you have y, right? I will just give me a moment, I will put the division lines shortly. So then you multiply this by 5y squared, 5y squared, and 5y is divided by 6x. It's divided by 6x, right? Now you put the division signs because they are very important. Now we can start doing the sum. So 3x over y and this, right? So first of all, you can cut this and put 1 here. 3x times 2 is 6x. So therefore you can put 2 here. So that's half. And y and 1y can be cancelled off. So therefore you'll get 5y divided by 2. So that is 5y divided by 2. That will be the answer you obtained from this question. Let's just check if this question is correct. Right, so that's the answer, 3x divided by 2, and yes, so that will be your answer. So moving on to question number 12, you have a portion of group frequency shown below for the interval 11 to 15. Write the upper class limit. So you should write the upper class limit of the given question, right? The upper class limit of 11 to 15 will definitely be 15. So therefore you can write for the first one as 15 as the answer, right? For this one also, let's put an equal sign. So lower class boundary, right? Lower class boundary for this will be 10.5, right? The lower class boundary will be 10.5. Moving on to question number 13. This is a bit complex question. I'll provide the answers in the link down below, right? For this you will need in the exam you will not need so much method, but this method I'll be including this in the Google Drive in the link down below, right? Since we have already discussed this question, there's no need to discuss it again. For those of you who are watching YouTube, I've done this to my students. You can always check in the link down below, right? Done. So now let's move on to question 14. So AB is a vertical post on a level ground. AB is a vertical post on level ground. Let's say AB is just something like a lamp, and P and Q are points on the level ground as shown in the figure. The top B, right, the top B, this part of the post AB when observed from Q, is seen with an angle of elevation 70 degrees. Great. When observed from B, the point P is seen with an angle of depression 50 degrees. Now this is really easy. All you have to do is take your compass and then take your ruler and mark the angle of elevation like this, right? You must use your compass here. Do not directly draw this from your ruler or pencil, right? You need your compass for this application, right? So for this you keep your compass and then mark with a pencil, and then take your compass and make sure you mark the point from the pin, right? And then you take your protractor and identify the angle of elevation to a degree of 70 degrees. right? So, and they have said this from Q is seen from angle of elevation. So therefore, since this is an angle of elevation, you should put an arrow like this when you mark 70 degrees, right? You should put an arrow like that when you mark 70 degrees. And from B, you just draw a perpendicular line from B such that such that the angle from B, right? You take your angle like this, and this should directly go to this point. So this will be something like this. So take your pencil again, mark the angle of depression, right? Angle of depression like this, and this will be 50 degrees, right? This will be 50 degrees. So that's done. Now moving on to question number 15, right? Question number 15, find the third term of the geometric progression with the first term as 6 and the second term as minus 12. Make sure when you do this question, again I will tell, please do this with your compass and your protractor and your meter ruler. Don't just put the angles like this and draw some lines, right? You will lose some marks if you do that. Find the third term of geometric progression with the first term 6 and second term minus 12. So first term will be 6 and the second term will be minus 12. So how will this be possible? Right? So obviously when you see this, you can see that it is a geometric progression as given. So for this you should use an equation like this. T to the base r is equals to a r n minus 1, right? N minus 1. So this r and this r is different, right? This r and this r is different. They have separate names, right? So this a is called the first term of this geometric progression, which is 6. They have given first term is 6, so therefore a equals 6. Mark a equals 6 so you do not end up with confusions. And r is known, this r right here is known as the common ratio. The common ratio is denoted by r is equals to minus 12 over 6, which means this will be basically equals to minus 2. Right, that's done. Now since I do not have space here, I will just write it in the side. Make sure that you maintain the spaces when you do these types of questions. So the third term is what we should find. We put 3 because the third term is what we should find, right? So the first term is 6, you should mention it here, times the common ratio minus 2, common ratio minus 2, or you can put here Tn as well. So there is no problem. To avoid confusions, I'll put n here, right? Easy. So take this as n. Now when you have n there, you should know that here also you have n. So third term is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So therefore 3 minus 1 is 2. You know that a minus into the power of it will be positive always, because minus into minus is positive. So therefore this will be 3 equals 6 into 4. This will be finally equals to 24. So the third term of this geometric progression, right, let's write it here so that there is no confusions between you, right? Third term of the geometric progression equals to 24. I'll make this a bit magnified, right? So this will be the answer that you require. Right, so make sure you have all these workings when you do this question in your paper. moving on to question number 16. It's given that Q is the midpoint of the side AC. Q is the midpoint of the side AC. So therefore AQ equals QC, right? You just when you see it, you must write all the data which is given, because they will be really important to obtain the answer, right? So therefore you can put, so AQ is equals to QC. The reason is given in the question, right? Because they are equal. Right, so now they have also given that AQP and QCB equals 90 degrees, right? AQP equals QCB equals 90 degrees, which means that is a right angle, right? So when you do these types of questions, make sure you always mark the head of the angle, right, like this, and mark the degree sign, right? Okay, so now that is done. Now let's move on to the question. So you have learned a theory that when a right angle and another condition is fulfilled, that this triangle is congruent according to the theory of RHS, right? Therefore triangle APQ is congruent, right? I will give me a second. No, right, okay. So is congruent to triangle ABC according to theory of RHS, right? Is congruent like this. You should put 3 lines. Therefore the angle APQ, this angle and this angle should be equal, right? They should be equal. So therefore the you can also call this as similar triangles, right? You can also call this as similar triangles. Right, similar triangle. So therefore name an angle equal to APQ. So you can tell that APQ is equals to ABC. Is equal to this, and so the answer can be obtained. So if PQ equals 4 centimeters, if this they say is 4 centimeters, they ask the length of BC, right? They ask the length of BC. So that is a very easy question. All we got to do is refer this properly. So now that you know that this is 4 centimeters and this is equal to this, if we take this as x and this as x, you will know that AC will be equals to 2x, right? AC will be equals to 2x. So if that is 2x and this is 4 centimeters and this will obviously be corresponding angles, right? Since this is these angles are equal to each other. Therefore, according to the law of corresponding angles and according to law of similar triangles, 4 centimeters, since this is x and this is x, AQ is twice, AC is twice of AQ. You can write here, since AQ is twice of, since AC is twice of AQ, you can write that finally the answer that BC equals 8 centimeters. BC equals 8 centimeters. Right, so now that that question is done, we can move on to the 17th question. A right prism with a right triangular cross section is shown in the figure A. Select and underline the figure which is not the shape of a face of the prism. So obviously you can see that when you see this, that we cannot see a parallelogram in any of these. Therefore you can mark number 2 is the correct answer. So in here they have given in question number 18, one factor of the expression 2x squared plus 3x plus 1 is x plus 1. Find the other factor, right? So you should find the other factor for this. Now please don't get confused in what I'm going to do, right? All you got to do is listen. Just stay calm and listen to what I'm going to tell. So now you should mark here, right? 2x squared. This is going to be very easy. 2x plus 3x plus 1, and here you have x plus 1, right? So to get 2x, you should multiply x by 2x, right? As easy as that. So to get 2x squared, 2x into x is equal to 2x squared. Therefore, the answer is 2x squared. 2x into 1 is 2x. 2x into 1 is 2x, so therefore you put it here. You know that when this and this is there without any signs, this is obviously positive. So therefore, since that is positive, this will be negative. Therefore, this will be 0 here, and this will also be negative, because obviously if you have something like this coming below, this will be subtracted. Plus into minus is minus. So therefore this will be x plus x. Now you have x here, so you put 1, 2x plus 1, and x into 1 is x, 1 into 1 is 1, so you take this to here, right? You have 1, x into 1 is x right here, and 1 into 1 is 1. So therefore this will be 1 and this will be 0. So the remainder will be 0. Therefore you will obtain another factor for this expression, right? So you obtain the other factor for this expression by dividing this like this. So this is a very easy sum. Now you put x plus 1 and 2x plus 1 is equals to 2x squared is equals to 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Make sure when you do this question that you do this rough work in your paper, right? So you so the paper marker doesn't get confused. Now moving on to the next question, which is question number 18. A circle with center O is shown in the figure. Find the magnitudes of the following angle according to the given information. For this you should revise your book properly, and then you should tackle this question off, right? So I will explain you the basic theory which is required. So in here you can see that in triangle ADC, right? The triangle which is ADC has an angle 240 in the center, right? So obviously you know that in a circle that there is 360 degrees, right? There is 360 degrees. So 360 degrees is equals to 240 plus AOC, right, plus AOC, and this should be given the term degrees, and this will be the header, right, and then AOC will be equals to 360 minus 240 will be 120 degrees, and this will be AOC, right, that will be AOC, and this will be in degrees as well, AOC angle. So AOC angle you have obtained as 120 degrees. So now that you have obtained it as 120 degrees, so obviously you know that AOC is equals to ABC. Mark the head here. So finally you can say that therefore, use these three dots, therefore ABC is equals to 120 degrees. Right, so the first question is done. Now moving on to question number 2, ADC, right? So to find ADC, you know that there is a theory that the angle which exists at AOC, right, I will just write it, ADC equals twice ADC is equals to AC, right, twice of it is equals to AOC, therefore this will be the head of the angle. So we have found that already that AOC is equals to 120, so this will be ADC is equals to 120. So 2 goes to the other side using cross multiplication, and you will get ADC equals 60 degrees, right, ADC equals 60 degrees. Make sure you mark the head and you mark the degree sign, the head and the degree sign, right. So that's how you obtain the answer for question number 19. Right, so moving on to the next page, which is going to be a really easy question. They have said that find the gradient and the intercept of the straight line which passes through these points. So first of all, you got to identify what this is. So this a straight line which exists is passing through 2 different coordinates, right? They passes through 2 different coordinates, namely 0 and 2, and right here you can find another coordinate that will be 5 and 2. Put that in brackets. So you know that you have learned that the left coordinate is x and the right coordinate is y. Left is x and the right is y, right? Now to find the gradient, you should know the equation, the basic equation. Gradient equals difference of y minus coordinates over difference of x minus coordinates. Right, and you have equals to, you should take a specific order. Let's take this point minus this point. You should follow the order 2 minus 2 over, right? We took this point first, so therefore let's take the x coordinate of that point and minus it by 0. Now you should divide this as well. So therefore when you divide this, you will get 0 by 5. This is let's say we have 5 children and there are no toffees. So how many toffees are given to each child? That will be 0, right? Obviously you know that this is 0. So now that we have found the gradient is 0, right? We know that if a line has an intercept, that line respects to this equation y equals mx plus c. But we know that m is 0. We know that m is 0. Let's take a random coordinate like this. Let's take 5 and 2. Y is 2. Gradient is 0. X is 5. And we have the coordinate c. Now let's take another coordinate just to verify, right? So you have 2 here and you have gradient which is 0. X coordinate here is 0 plus c. So in both of these you will get the intercept as 2 and the gradient as m equals 0. It's a very easy question, right? So this is it for this video. For all the children who are in my class now, you can stay in the YouTube video. This is all I'm going to do, and I will be uploading 21 to 25 in the upcoming video. So thank you and have a nice day, and the children in this class have a 5 minutes break and come back to class, right? Okay, take care, right?